Hey, what's up everybody? This is Kyle with Jets and Human Performance, and today we're going to be doing arm circles, which is a great upper body warm-up exercise. This is something that's a fairly common thing you might see people doing at the gym, going through some arm circles forward and doing backwards, and that's fine, but we're going to go over a key today. There's one key that'll help us get through the full range of motion. If you're not going through the full range of motion on your arm circles, you're not getting the full benefit of it. But before I actually jump into doing the circles themselves, I want to talk about a little bit of anatomy of the shoulder. So the shoulder, the correct name for that is the glenohumeral joint. So the humerus, as we talked about in a previous video, is our upper arm bone here, and that connects to our scapula, the glenoid fossa, which is part of our scapula, and that's where the two bones meet. It's like a ball and socket joint. The thing with the shoulder is the ball is bigger than the socket. So while you have great range of motion, it's not the most stable joint, which is why shoulder injuries are fairly common. So that's another reason why it's important to warm up our shoulders before we exercise. All right, so with that anatomy out of the way, I want to talk about a few motions of the shoulder. So these are going to be important when we're doing our arm circles. I'm going to turn quickly to the side here so you can see as I'm going along. So the first motion of the shoulder is called shoulder flexion, which is me basically just lifting up my arms here. So this is shoulder flexion. From there, we can go into shoulder extension, which is bringing them back, or you can go back even a little bit farther. This whole area would be shoulder extension. Next, we have shoulder abduction. So that's abduction. So you can think of shoulders going away. This is shoulder abduction. And then coming back in towards my body, I have shoulder adduction, so adduction. So shoulder abduction and shoulder adduction. Next, the last one I want to talk about here is internal and external rotations. We have external rotation. I'm externally rotating my shoulder, and then internal rotation. So external rotation, internal rotation. And these last two, the external and internal rotation, are going to be important for the arm circles themselves. So with all that out of the way, let's actually finally do some arm circles. First off, I want to do some forward arm circles. So I'm going to be bringing my arms forward here for these. But the key is to get that full range of motion as I'm externally rotating. We see my thumbs here. I'm externally rotating, sticking my thumbs out, and that's going to help me get that full range of motion behind me, keeping my arms straight, and I'm going to bring the blade of my hand is coming down. So I'm externally rotating, sticking my chest out here, trying to go through that full range of motion. So these are my forward arm circles. Starting every time I get back to around here, I'm going to turn that thumb out, get that full range of motion. All right, so those are forward arm circles. Next, we're going to do reverse arm circles. So I'm starting with my thumbs up. I'm going to always going thumbs up, and then at the top here, I'm going to be turning my thumbs in. So this is I'm internally rotating my shoulders, coming back, thumbs up. I'm going to turn to the side here again. So I'm thumbs up, internally rotating my shoulders, trying to get that full range of motion, and then bringing my thumbs back up as I'm going through that full range. And you should actually feel the shoulder working here. You're really getting warmed up. It shouldn't take too long to get that warm up going. So that's the forward and backwards arm circles. It's really good, like I said, it's really good warm up for our shoulders, especially if you're doing an upper body warm up. It might be something you want to do before you get started. All right, well, thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.